joining me for Win the Day. I am with you guys every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm the 100K Challenge Chick, challenging women to break the 100K income ceiling in their businesses. Today's topic is, I'm thinking short and sweet. I really just want to bring to your attention key things that everybody, no matter where you are in your stage of business, you need to be focused. Is primarily helping people who are decently new, trying to make sure they're in a place where they're building consistent income. So that's who I'm going to be talking to the most, like in those earlier stages. However, if you've been making money and you find yourself to be in a comfortable position with your income, then you still want to listen to this to just make sure you have these three things aligned properly for your business. So definitely stick around for that. And I am not just going to be introducing today's topic and the three things you need to do, but we have a training coming up. I included the link in the description for you guys to join us for 3 days of training. Is sponsored by the 100K Society, which is my coaching community that you guys are all welcome to join, especially if you find this topic to be intriguing and the things that you have to work on. The 100K Society is there to help business owners grow their business. It's a community that I coach, as well as the fact that you're in a community with other entrepreneurs who are doing the same things that you are. So it's a place, it's like, think of it as like your entrepreneurial training ground, your support system, all of those things so that you can continue to nurture and grow your business. So the 100K Society is sponsoring a 3-day training opportunity. It's called Brand, Audience, and Message. And those are the three things that we're going to be jumping into today. What I realized and why I realized those three things were super important is because a lot of you, especially early in business, you jump right into like, okay, what is my first product? How am I going to get this product done? And you start producing. So whether you wanted to write a course, teach a class, you actually have a item for sale and you have to make it or order it or whatever it is, design it, you jump right into that part and you start working it and doing things and you feel really, really productive until when you're done, because you hadn't taken care of your business, you don't have anybody to sell it to, right? You spent all your time producing things and figuring out the pricing for things, but you don't spend the time to really make sure that who you are and who you're talking to and how you're talking to them, all of that matters. All of that matters like 1,000 times more than your product, because if you don't get those things right, then there will be no one there to buy your product, and you're not in business if you can't figure out how to sell. So let me break it down. Today we're jumping into your brand, your audience, and your messaging, right? So your brand is who you are. The thing that I teach my accelerators is that you don't really have control over your brand. You definitely should say, this is what I want my brand to be. This is what I want my brand to stand for. But brand is more like the reputation of your company. It is how people perceive you, how people interact with you, what is their response in relation to your business. The way that you influence your brand and the way people interact with your brand is through your marketing. That's a different animal, right? So your brand, you absolutely should be very particular about what you're putting out there, how you're putting it out there, because all of that gets wrapped into your name and your brand and what your brand stands of your customer. So your brand is super important. And what is for, it's telling me this is jumping on and offline. So I apologize to you guys. But we're talking about brand and who you are, what result you're aiming to get for your clients, what is the pain point that you're addressing, right? And then how are you addressing it? So for example, I have the title of a business coach, but that doesn't mean that is very descriptive or tell you exactly what I do. So what I do is focus on people who are just in front of their $100,000 revenue for their business, and I help them to systemize their business, organize, and really think about really great ways for them to make money so they can not only cross over that $100,000 mark, but grow and continue to scale their business because they understand the power of customizing it to fit their needs and their strengths and their lifestyle, right? So that is what I do as a business coach. And so those are the pain points that I address, but how I get them results is I teach, I coach. I run the coaching community, the 100K Society. I have personal coaching 101, and I will eventually start having a lot of digital products for people to buy. So therefore, I am being very conscious about the way that I am a business coach, right? For a lot of you, you don't think about that. You just take on the role of coach or teacher or makeup artist, and you don't realize that what people are looking for is for you to specialize in something so they know when they need your services, right? If you just say, oh, I do makeup for anybody, then most people aren't going to trust that because they're like, okay, well, are you better at these overly dramatic looks? If you're talking to someone my age and older, I want to make sure if you do my makeup that you're like really making my skin look young. I don't want you using makeup that's going to increase like lines in my face or make me look like I'm aged. I really want the opposite. So I want to go to someone who is used to working with clients and making sure that you're, like taking care of me and my skin needs and at my age, right? So if they're just like, they do a bunch of proms and young kids, that might not be what I'm looking for. But I want to make that choice as a customer, and your customers want to make that choice about you. So be really clear about who you are and what you offer and what pain points you're addressing. Don't think that being generic and being open to everyone is helping you, because it really isn't, right? So that is your brand, like the pain points that you're addressing, the results you're getting for them, and how you're doing it. Because if you don't like coaching, I'm not your person, right? If you don't like that one-on-one relationship or even the relationship with me in a community, then that I'm not for you. You would go to a business coach who just only sold like guides and manuals and taught things through a digital way because you don't like this way. But I should be clear about who I am so that my clients can choose, yes, that's exactly what I needed, and they'll be happier to come and work with me. Number 2 is your audience. This is one of the biggest things in business that you have to spend time and figure out. What most people do, like I said earlier, is they will spend all their time creating a product, creating, a better system of producing the product, and then figuring out how much it should cost. And they feel like that's it. Well, if you didn't spend the time to build an audience, when you're done with that product or building that community or writing that book, there will be no one there to join you, to buy from you, and ultimately, you're not in business if you don't have an audience. So I am going to have Atiba, who is the founder of Traffic Keys. He's going to be with us June 16th, which is next week, and really break down audience, right? He has a system called the Dream 100. And for anybody who joins the 100K Society, you will have access to the Dream 100. There's a workbook, there's like a informational book, and I think he's going to also have a training. So next week, you're going to learn like what that is. How am I supposed to be thinking about building my audience? For a lot of you, you don't know. right? So you rely on your family and friends, and that gets really frustrating. But then outside of that, you're not really sure how to organically attract people to your business. So that's what we're going to cover next week, because having an audience and people to sell to is absolutely important. You have to give them a certain amount of information about you. They have to understand your brand in order to decide whether they want to be a part of your audience. So he's going to be breaking that down for us next week. It's going to be so great. I definitely don't want you guys to miss that. And then finally, number 3 is your messaging, right? So let's say that you've done the careful work to consider how you want to show up in the world. What's the thing that you really stand for in your business, and how are you getting results? Next, you actually have an audience that is interested in that result. They want it from you, the way that you're going to deliver it. Third is, how do you communicate that to them? I often end up in coaching with businesses who have really great ideas, phenomenal projects going on. They even have a real good idea of where their clients are, but they don't have the messaging to reach them. And when I'm talking about messaging, it's how are you addressing them? How are you talking to them in such a way that it converts for it to become a sale for your business? It's not all about a sale, right? Because I started with what is the result you're getting for them and what is the pain point. So everything goes back to that. And your messaging must be clear. It must be clear about what you're offering, what you're doing for them. If you're making promises of what your product will deliver, they need to hear that. So I have Erin Pennings of at Copy Snacks. She's at Copy Snacks on Instagram and Facebook, but she does this for a living, you guys, really just helping people hone in their messaging so that they can then use it on their websites or any other public platform, but also it should help you with how you're speaking and how you are writing your posts on social media. So she's going to be with us on the 17th, which is next week. She's also going to be with us in the 100K Society every single quarter, doing hot seats to make sure you guys understand what you should be saying, how you should be saying it. So she'll be giving advice and critiques, all this stuff, just in the membership group. So your messaging is all about how you are speaking to your audience to convert the sale. It's not enough to just show up and talk and ramble. You have to convert. You have to be able to speak to the pain point, speak to the results, do it in a consistent fashion, right? And she will teach us all of those things as well. So we've just covered 3 major things, you guys: your brand, your audience, and your messaging. And the event that we're putting together next week, starting on the 15th, is called Brand, Audience, and Messaging. Just to keep it simple, right? I don't want you to be concerned or confused about what we're doing. Literally each day, that is what we're doing. We're doing your brand first, and that will be hosted by me, the 100K Challenge Chick, and the 100K Society, which is the membership group. And then the audience is brought to you by Traffic Keys. They are a company that helps businesses with their organic marketing. So he's going to talk to us about that and building organic traffic. That's what I meant to say. And then third is the messaging. So June 15th, 16th, 17th, I want you guys to be with us. We're going to go into more depth about each of these topics. What I'll promise you is that we're going to cover most of the material, as in the content, in the first 30 minutes. And then the second half, we're going to take questions. I will be posting for you guys to ask your questions in advance so that we can kind of do more rapid fire. But if you are live with us that day, you can absolutely ask your questions, and live questions will have preference over the ones that are submitted. So we are looking forward to seeing you. This is the first sponsored event from the 100K Society. So yay, kudos to all of you who have already taken the leap to join the 100K Society. If you haven't, You will learn a little more about that society next week during this. I'm going to call it a mini series from the experts, and you will have an opportunity to join the society as well. So I am looking forward to it. This is your year that you're going to grow your company beyond just thinking about what I can offer. You're going to like fully grow up your business to understand your brand, understand your audience, understand your messaging, and really get great at doing those things. It's not enough to learn about it. I want you guys to come learn and put it into practice. I want you to start doing this stuff and making it like an ingrained part of your business. So I'm excited for next week, only because I really love the fact that even for me as a business owner, I am definitely moving more into collaborations and understanding how my business can help grow other people's communities and how their expertise can help grow mine. So that's my objective. That's my mission. I look forward to seeing you guys. The link for the event is in this description for the video. So definitely join us, and I will talk with you guys soon. Thanks so much for joining me for Win the Day. You guys have a great day. Bye.